clicked on the intro a bit too quickly.
Well, better get it started, so better late than never.
We're here now. Sorry, we're here. So welcome everyone to our episode 5 review. I am the Duke of Homerton. This is Davie P, it's fair to say the Andrew Ridgeley of this great partnership. Well, I'll tell you afterwards.
Why are you laughing? I'm guessing it's not. He's not the more creative half of the duo.
Oh yeah, I mean that's down to interpretation. I'll tell you quickly before we move on. So you know Wham, you're a big George Michael fan.
Yeah. So he's the other guy, the one that no one, the lesser member.
Yeah.
The one that no one, just the other guy. He could have been any guy in the hot pants, but he was just. And
it turns out that, you know, like how in the music videos, he's like playing guitar and singing along and stuff.
Didn't he have a tambourine?
On occasion, he did also have a tambourine, but I think that was more Pepsi and Shirley. God, I am showing my age. But he couldn't play guitar. He couldn't play tambourine. He didn't actually write any of the songs either. He had no musical input whatsoever. He was literally the hanger-on.
Eye candy.
Well, George Michael, a far better-looking man than Andrew Ridgeley, I think it's fair to say.
So he was just basically just a tag-along.
Yeah, he was just like George Michael's mate, and George was like... It's like me. This guy's got to come along for the ride with me.
Yeah, come on, mate. I'll let you get a few quid. Like, you don't have to do much. Just stand there, wear the shorts, pretend to knock the tambourine. I'll have it on mute.
Yeah,
and that's it.
So this is essentially what I'm doing for you here. I'm letting you come on this journey with me. On this,
lovely,
so amazing.
Get me a tambourine, and then I'm good to go.
I don't even think I can trust you with a tambourine in one step.
That's true. I might get carried away and overstep my bounds.
You might do. You might just fling it at my head, which would be should be painful. Anyway, episode 5 of Kingpin. I think it's fair to say a lot of what we thought was going to happen did happen. This episode wasn't the Die Hard episode. That's going to be next week, it seems. But still a fair bit to discuss. I think still a fair bit to discuss. It's fair to say before we start as well, you've seen Spider-Man. I haven't seen Spider-Man.
Yes, I have.
So I don't know if there's actually stuff in Spider-Man that might impact some of the theories, which I'll put forward, but don't say anything either way. But I mean, obviously you can talk, but just be careful not to give away spoilers if I do say something which does give credence to something in Spider-Man. Maracas, you're going to get the maracas. That's what you're going to be trusted with. Okay. I'm just going to kick off from the beginning, from the end, not the beginning, the end. I'm just going to go straight to the end. Straight to the end, Davie. It's confirmed Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin, is the big guy in Hawkeye. How do you feel?
Not surprised, because I mean we've been doing these Marvel podcasts for a fair bit now. So it's gone from the beginning where we were trying to find our feet in terms of, didn't want to say too much in case we're wrong, but the more we started watching stuff and the more we just got comfortable with it, the more we kind of started just being ourselves in terms of putting forward our theories on certain things. And so far, everything that we've said with a lot of these things have actually been spot on. I mean, there's a lot I can't really say in terms of why I'm going that way because of the whole Spider-Man that you haven't seen this yet. But again, once you see it, you're going to see a lot, when we have that podcast, which we're going to be doing on Boxing Day.
I was actually going to say, I think maybe we should do it the other way around, but we'll discuss that afterwards.
Yeah, no, just throw it out there, let them get excited. So you've got something to look forward to, guys.
Christmas Eve, I think we'll do the Spider-Man podcast, and then Boxing Day we'll do the Hawkeye one.
Huh? But Hawkeye's before you watch. Oh, no, you're watching Spider-Man this
Yeah.
week.
So yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Okay,
Carry
yeah,
on.
either way. But yeah, I mean, we've been, a lot of theories that we've put forward on these live podcasts have come to pass, and may not have been 100% word for word, but between the two of us, it's been spot on. Like when we talked about Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and again, even with this, we were saying that we feel that Eleanor is not as innocent as she seems. In fact, it looks as though she's actually the one who's the puppeteer, and poor Jacques, he's the puppet. He really thinks that he's not on the strings, but really and truly, he's just completely clueless, because I think as much as he probably wants to think he's this bad guy, or he's in on things, I think he's really into her, and his vision is clouded.
Can we have a quick conversation about Jacques? Because I am finding him a very confusing character. I have to admit now, I kind of see where other people are coming from. Either he's very naive, or he's playing this game. He's on the next level when it comes to just playing this kind of, game of, I'm in control all along, and I know a lot more what's going on.
No, I think he's naive. I mean, remember, I've been saying it. Have I not said it to you? Where I think that he's in way over his head. He's one of those ones. Like the only reference I could think of, he's like one of those nerdy kids who, because the cool guys say hello to him a few times and kind of acknowledge him, he feels that he's part of that clique. And I think it's the same with him. Like because his uncle, who got killed by God knows who, was along the lines of Eleanor, cut from the same cloth in terms of he was actually mixed up in a lot of underground dealings. So therefore he kind of knows, which I think why he could tell what she was about from the beginning, because he's cut from the same cloth, so he can see through her. Whereas Jacques, he's just thinks, I got me a nice, innocent, good lady who loves me, and she's just into me, and I can wow her with tales by showing her things. So I think a lot of things that maybe if we were to explore their character and their relationship, I think she probably may have kind of persuaded him to take her to certain places and make him think it's his idea, but really and truly she wanted to go there. So probably going back to that picture that we saw, which he went straight to the end of Kingpin, it's probably a function that he took her to. And, he's thinking, oh, yes, I'm taking her to meet all these people. And really and truly, she's already had all of that set up. But to actually play into her hands of what she want to do, she's just letting him think he's got more control than what he actually does, because he genuinely looked completely shocked and out of, his depth when they actually confronted him. And if he was that weak when just a couple regular beat cops came to arrest him, he would fold like napkin if they literally bad guys was to really catch him.
My brother thinks that Jacques isn't as innocent as you're making him out to be, Davie. I think maybe that's the good thing about the character. There's that element of mystery about him. Is he naive? Isn't he naive? I personally probably agree with my brother. I think this is the swordsman, and the swordsman in the comics in the 70s and 80s was a big deal, which makes me think there's actually a lot more. I think he's playing his own game, personally.
Yeah, it could go that way. I think the only way it could work that way, one theory what I'm thinking of now in my head, which obviously, it's all just speculating, is he probably may have found his uncle just before he died, and his uncle probably told him, listen, this is the real, you have to be careful, blah, 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 but you have to continue playing this role like you don't know what's going on. So his uncle may have told him a few truths before he died. So he's now, maybe before he was completely innocent and naive, but now he's aware of what's going on, and he's now just playing that game.
I think Eleanor is going to turn out to be some kind of Madame Mask character. We're going to find that Eleanor actually killed Derek, her husband, probably. Find out that Eleanor probably killed Armand as well, because they had that big argument in the hotel. And you get the impression that Eleanor does get her way, and whether she done it herself or one of Kingpin's goons done it on her behalf. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what, Manny? Now you mention it, I don't think she's maybe a small or a mid-level villain like a Madame Mask. I think she's up there on Kingpin level.
I think she's probably an underboss, level. I don't think she's on an equal level of Kingpin.
I'm not sure, because would our underboss have that kind of intel to get in touch with the Black Widows to hire them? I think
that's a good question. I
think you have to be a certain kind of boss level to get that kind of clearance to actually hire
a good question.
Those kind of people.
That's a good question, because you've got to remember, she does run a security company, so she's going to have lots of links like that. We don't know to what extent this security company, what kind of contracts this company has. Does it have government contracts? And in that case, she may well have a phone line to Val for that reason. When Val,
which means that she wouldn't be you can't be an underboss if you have that kind of, if you started out as an underboss, by the time you got that kind of level of information and now you've made those kind of connection, now you're actually up there.
I do think, for the purpose of the storytelling, unless they do a big swerve, which would be kind of cool, maybe, that Kingpin will be the main man, because Kingpin is very much the main man. He's just, I think he's the one they want us to fear. And I think even in the end credits, one of the last bits of drawings like they have at the end is Kingpin's figure standing over New York to show this guy is the big boss. But it's an interesting point, because when Val receives that phone call in Black Widow 2, so my brother's making the same point as well. Eleanor subcontracted Valentina for the hit. Was Val receiving the phone call directly from Eleanor, or was she receiving the call from Kingpin as a proxy? Possibly. I think that's going to be quite interesting to find out.
I think what we have to, why I think, again, why I'm going with my theory of thinking that she's either as big as Kingpin or bigger, I just go back to Loki, where if we actually look at the Loki series, prior to seeing the Loki series, we thought that the Infinity Stones was the all-powerful things in the universe, until when we actually saw in the, what's it called? The time, my God, my brain, sorry, man.
The TVA.
Yeah, in the TVA office, literally they're used as bookmarkers to hold down paper, things like that. So then it literally shows you the level, that there's actually levels to it. So when Thanos went through all that just to get those, and these guys literally have them like they're just keepsake, like, oh, it's just that kind of thing. It just makes you think, well, you know what? He thought he was really the big bad, and then you come to realize that what he had is actually nothing compared to them. So this could be another situation where, again, Kingpin might be the big bad, but only for New York. So just in that pond, on the scale of things, it's not really that big. It's big for a local domestic level, but in terms of like Avengers, what they've done level.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Kingpin's got to be in the comics, Kingpin is one of the most feared, supervillains. And it's not because he's got superpowers, though he's a skilled martial artist and has ridiculous natural strength. It is because
he had 2% body fat.
Yeah, so actually all that stuff is muscle in the comics. It's not actually fat.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know how you get muscle that comes out of your belly to that degree.
Hey, don't judge him. He's just built differently.
I wouldn't judge him to his face. And I definitely wouldn't say anything about Vanessa to his face either. You're cruising for a bruising if you mention Vanessa to him in a derogatory way. But yeah, he's always in the comics. He's always the man in the shadows. He's always the man in control, even if other people think they're in control. No, it's Kingpin. he's got pies in everything. Valentina spoke about there being, people which are interested in people like John Walker and the powers he has. Could that person be Kingpin? As you said, could it be Eleanor that they're interested in? Yeah, Kingpin can hold his own against Spider-Man. Yeah, and you got the Marvel Unlimited app now. You really have to read a mid-80s story with Kingpin and Daredevil, where
you have to send me the one so I can know. Because remember, there's hundreds and thousands of stories on there.
I'll send you this. I'll send you the story because you can't Google. But there's a story where basically Kingpin destroys Daredevil's life, and he doesn't do it through violence.
Oh, we had this. Was this on here, or was it we were just?
I think we have had this chat before about Frank, about this story, but yeah, he just like destroys his life by basically finding out his real identity and then just destroying Matt Murdock. He doesn't destroy Daredevil; he destroys Matt Murdock bit by bit, and it's it's a great read, but it's a terrible read as well because you don't like what's happening to Daredevil or Matt Murdock either, but this is like what he's capable of. He doesn't need superpowers. He's such a master manipulator in the shadows.
Because he's all cerebral, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also great word. He's all cerebral, so he'll just be in the background. And if he does need to get into fisticuffs, the man can hold his own as well. There's no debating that either. But it's all up here. You're right, and he will just control things from the shadows.
But I think that's what makes it really good. You need, in order to have a deserving hero, you need a completely and utterly deservingly despicable villain. You need someone that's so, literally, just so bad. Like, it literally upsets you when you think about it. And it's not even you it's happening to, you get so mad. I can't believe he did this. And you're thinking, and then you have to calm down. Hang on, it didn't actually do anything to me. That's just in the movies. But you actually need someone that's actually like that. And I think when you have that, it makes it for a better read. When they do get their comeuppance, it makes it even more enjoyable because it's like, it's long overdue. And I think if they build those characters, and just like it is in the comics, if they build it over time rather than just rush these things, then I think it will be great.
Yeah, I think Kingpin is obviously going to feature as the main villain in Echo. Obviously, in this episode, Clint tells Echo, listen, I killed your dad because Kingpin gave me the tip-off, pretty much. He told me where your dad was to kill him. So, your dad was doing some shady stuff behind the corners, eliminating people, using me as a pawn to eliminate people. And if you it's a good bit of imagery because in that scene they're fighting in a used car sales,
car lots, like
suggesting that Echo's been used and Hawkeye's been used as well in the past by Kingpin.
I think so.
It's a nice bit of imagery they've put there.
I think his end game probably was to get his daughter, was to get Echo, so he could mold Echo into what he wants her to be, which is like, the perfect weapon. Which actually, funnily enough, that's actually what Clint said. We're both weapons. And I think that's exactly what it was. I think with her father around, he still had her tempered. So he wouldn't let her do certain things or behave a certain way. Because he would rather be the one to do those kind of things, take those kind of risks.
Yeah.
But the only thing I found, but then again, obviously the Kingpin, and we just said that he's cerebral, so there must be a reason behind why he done that. Why the partner, as in, what's the guy's name? I don't know his name.
I've forgotten Echo's dad's name. I've forgotten.
No, not the dad. The head tracksuit mafia guy. The one who why he didn't get eliminated as well.
Because it sounds like Kazi was in on it as well.
He was. Yeah. Because he said it, he was like, when he said, I got the tip off, which makes you think that it wasn't actually Kingpin that actually made the call, give the tip off. It was actually him, which is why he never turned up with her dad for the meeting, which is why she asked him, where was you? And he's like, oh, I didn't get the call, and I think he kind of.
No. I think Kingpin told Kazi, don't turn up to this meeting because you're going to be my new number 2 once.
Right, that's what I mean. So I think he knew, and he deliberately didn't go. But
exactly.
So he knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, so I think maybe in the last episode we're going to see Echo turn against Kazi, maybe even kill Kazi. But I think moving on, I think in the Echo series we're going to see Echo versus Kingpin moving forward. And again, I haven't seen Spider-Man, so I don't know. You might already know something, but it'll be interesting to see Daredevil turn up in Echo, because obviously they're both deaf, so they'll both interpret it in their own way, and it'll just be good to see them have interaction, maybe signing to each other.
Daredevil's not deaf.
He's blind. You're totally right. My apologies. But it will still be good to see like those two different like disabilities, for example, like playing off against each other.
Yeah, literally
compensating against each other. Yeah. So again, I don't know if Daredevil will be in. I don't know if Echo's made an appearance yet in the MCU official. I'll find out on Sunday. But
we'll find out on Sunday.
But just so people are aware, I've got COVID, so hence the reason I didn't go to the cinema on Wednesday, because I'm self-isolated. As you can see, I'm fine though. I'm
happy that he's fine. 100% happy that Manny's fine. But I had a little joke at his expense. Was it today or was it yesterday?
That's what Davie does. He jokes at people who have COVID. He's a terrible human being.
I joked at him because if y'all remember last week on the podcast, when I inadvertently invited myself to go to the cinema with Manny, which he was going to go this past Wednesday to go and actually watch Spider-Man. And I was like, yes, oh, great. Where you go? Oh, that one, great. Yeah, what time? I'm coming. And like, yeah, you're not invited, shamed me, in front of the millions of fans.
You've only got yourself to blame there. It wasn't nothing to do with me.
Yeah, so you know what now? After I went and I actually saw Spider-Man, and I was just in a blissful state. And I felt bad for him, but at the same time, I sent him a message. I was like, oh my God. I said to him, you remember how we spoke about Eternals, and I was disappointed. He said, it's one of those films you need to sleep on it, and then it will marinate in you and then you'll appreciate it. And I said, nah, Spider-Man did that for me. I said, I've woken up today and I'm still thinking about Spider-Man. I'm like, it's that good. And he's like, yeah, mm-hmm. I said, oh, when are you going to see it? And he's like, oh, and so I said to him, well, it's a bit horrible me saying this, but I said at the same time, I think maybe you just got punished because you shamed me in front of the millions of folks that I wasn't invited. Could you believe that? Davie P, I'm I wouldn't say Batman. I'm the Superman to his Batman. I'm not the Robin. I'm the Superman to his Batman. And he literally was going to go and I wasn't invited. I was shamed in front of you guys.
Sorry. Hey, no spoilers in the chat. No spoilers that Logan turned up in Spider-Man, which we know isn't true.
Oh, damn it.
If you are talking about Logan, we're talking about Logan Paul. So I just got another comment here as well. Bob was just talking about how in that story I was referencing earlier, Spider-Man pays a visit to Kingpin in regards to Daredevil and pranks Kingpin by whipping his chair seat. I do remember that.
The old school kid prank. He should have put a thumbtack.
Yeah. So that's Davian's story about Spider-Man.
Yes, Mr. Cato, I'm on one again. Yes, but I'm in a very I'm in two moods right now. I'm in a blissful mood in terms of the whole Spider-Man thing, but then I'm in a different mood.
Yeah, okay. We're not going to talk about your private life on stream. Let's not go there. So this brings us on to another question. Kingpin is now Vincent D'Onofrio, and again, I don't know who Charlie Cox is yet officially either, but Vincent D'Onofrio is now officially Kingpin in the MCU again. So he was in Netflix Daredevil. Now, Netflix used to reference Kevin Feige stuff, but Kevin Feige never once, maybe once, referenced the Netflix shows. Actually, no, that show wasn't even Netflix he referenced. It was Agent Carter, which wasn't Netflix. Was it Netflix? Doesn't matter. Okay, so is this
Agent Carter. Yeah, Agent Carter. Yeah.
Yeah. So is this Kingpin? Is he the same Kingpin we saw in the Netflix shows? Is he a variant, like our version variant of him, or is this kind of like or is this kind of like a soft reboot?
Well, you know what? That was actually touched upon in Spider-Man when Loki actually spoke to yeah, but yeah. Is he? Is he a variant?
Okay, I'm just getting rid of Davie for a bit. He's getting a bit fresh.
I haven't done anything, Manny. I'm just saying.
Okay. You carry on talking.
It's all right, man. Look at it. You just got what, a day and a half to go? Because it's now Friday night.
I've got a day and a half to go. Yeah, got a day and a half.
Yeah, a day and a half to go. You booked your seats?
Booked my seats, though I haven't got a confirmation email, so I'm going to be going there early just to make sure everything's a-okay.
Yeah, just bring some fight gloves if it's anything, because I've seen a few videos with people literally fighting outside the cinema for tickets.
I'll be
was
okay.
in America.
I'll be okay.
That was in
I'll
America,
be okay.
so yeah.
I'll be okay. Apparently you're cold-blooded. I agree. He is cold-blooded. He's just like a reptile. A terrible David Icke-esque reptile.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. You and Mr. Cato was going to go there, living La Vida Loca, having popcorn, enjoying Spider-Man, while me, Billy No Mates, Davie P was just going to be sitting there. But, if there's any of my LP fans out there, Davie LP fans out there, who would have been willing to go with me, just let me know. Hell, I might want to go back again to watch it again. I might even go tomorrow.
Good for you.
Saturday, not Sunday.
Good for you. Anyway, which Kingpin do you think this is? And was it, if it was referenced in the Spider-Man movie, then obviously we'll just move on.
What I'm thinking is it could possibly still be the one from the Netflix, but I think as he's coming over now in the big screen, they'll probably, and when I say big screen, I mean just coming over now he's now in the MCU. They're probably gonna make him even more serious than what he was.
Okay, this is an issue. This is an issue. It's good for you to touch upon this. Netflix could make Kingpin a lot more violent because they didn't have to worry about the ratings. Which, do you remember that Daredevil?
Yeah.
Series. I mean, some of those fights. I remember one scene, Daredevil having a spike being thrown into his stomach and just being dragged across the floor by one of the ninjas, and I was watching it going like, my God, I can't believe that this is like Disney won't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that was some of the best fights, like literally when he was fighting with against those ninjas.
Yeah, some of the fight scenes in Daredevil were incredible. Now, Daredevil, Marvel and Disney do great fight scenes, but they're not very gory. It's fair to say they're all very well choreographed, but they're not particularly.
Yeah, I think because they want bigger audience, larger numbers. I mean,
they want to appeal to the younger crowd,
right? And so basically, the more people that can see it, the better it is.
Okay, so Dave Dowdy says it's no links to the Netflix shows, which I guess which I'm okay with. I'm okay with it either way. But it's worth saying as well. And again, I haven't actually thought this up. Other people thought this up. In the Daredevil Netflix shows, Kingpin references the Battle of New York in 2012 as being the moment where he was in the chaos. He was able to gain more power in New York. That same battle is also referenced in episode 1 of Hawkeye. So I wonder if that's just a happy coincidence or whether they're going to continue that story as well, that Kingpin was able to exploit New York after the Battle of New York. If that's the case, again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the link to the Netflix shows, but then they could be taking something from those Netflix shows and making it canon within this universe.
Well, it might even be a case of what you said last time, where you said that it's after the snap. I think maybe it's in that time frame he really increased his stock in that 5 year period.
Maybe, yeah, maybe,
So,
maybe.
because
I'll tell
speaking
you,
of that, we saw that with
you later. Wasn't that a great scene?
that was actually like crazy.
It was great because you see it from their point of view, and you realize they haven't missed anything. They don't even realize they've been snapped.
Yeah, she literally thought she was just in the bathroom for a few seconds.
Yeah, and I love the way like the bathroom had been decorated and everything in the space while she'd been there. So she's just seen. It's a bit like the cutscene from Venom 2, actually, where like her reality just changes around her.
Yeah, but the only thing that I'm thinking of now I'm thinking about it, the fact that she came back to the exact same spot where she was.
I've got.
Does that mean that happened to everyone else?
I was thinking that if you were in an aeroplane,
you were driving.
What if you were in an aeroplane and you got snapped out of existence? Do you go straight back up to where the aeroplane would have been in the sky and just fall to your death?
You're a captain. Next thing you know, you're literally sitting on someone's lap. You're like, what's going on? I was flying this. No, you're not now.
Well, who's to say that plane would be in the air at that moment? You would just fall to your death.
Unless it's one of those things like again, I'll have to reference this, but in Fringe, the series Fringe, when Fringe was basically about multiverse in the sense where there was like a parallel Earth, and in one of the episode with Leonard Nimoy, who was also a big character in it, if you took someone from the parallel world, so say they were doing something, if you were driving or whatever you were doing, if they take you across and they speak to you or do whatever, when they return you, they have to put you back in the same motion. It has to basically, everything has to balance. There's a balance back to things. So literally you go right back into the car. So if you was driving at 80 miles an hour, you've now gone across. I'm talking to you like we're talking right now, but when I'm sending you back, I'm like, oh man, you're gonna have to brace yourself because you're actually gonna be back in a head-on collision going at the 80 miles an hour where you were going. So you literally go right back into the same exact predicament position that you were actually in before you were actually taken out. So maybe the snap worked like that with some, but
maybe
it's weird.
I just hope Tony Stark took that into account when he snapped. Like he just thought people in planes, people in helicopters, people in boats. You don't want people drowning at sea. Were taken into account as well. Like,
some people they're gonna die then, Manny. Because
that's my point. That's my point.
No, as in like Star-Lord. Remember, Star-Lord, along with Spider-Man, they were actually on that planet in space fighting against Thanos when they got snapped out of existence
on Titan.
Yeah. So, and the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy ain't there now. So would he be just stuck there now, waiting for someone to come and like pick him up? How is he gonna get rescued? Like if you're back at, or maybe it's just some people. We don't know.
Who knows? I think something they need to reassure me about, because I'm getting a bit worried that even imagine you lived on a 5th floor apartment and then that apartment gets knocked down. And then suddenly you come back and there's no apartment there and you just fall flat to your death. Thanos was right. We're getting, that's a theme which is definitely running strong now in the aftermath of this. But yeah, I love that scene with Yelena. I thought it was a great scene. Another scene I loved was the scene with Yelena and Kate, where Yelena turns up at Kate's house. First question: have you ever eaten mac and cheese with sriracha?
No.
Do you think it? I mean, to me, I don't think it would work.
No,
I know that you pride yourself personally on making a mean mac and cheese.
I certainly do.
We can actually see that from the little bulge you have in your t-shirt right now. You're set there.
No, this is just the chair and how it's how it's rusted,
Keep,
why
keep us
I'm
telling,
looking like this.
keep telling us that, yeah.
Yeah, see, it's slimmers, you know. But yes, no, I think, but then she actually did say that her dad taught her that, so maybe that's a Russian dish.
No, her dad in Black Widow 2, her dad does make mac and cheese, but it's actually Kate who throws Yelena the sriracha, and a part of me thinks,
But she asked for it.
yeah, she does ask for it, but I think
Remember it said to her, "Have you finished?" You know, because I'm gonna add, add
she
hot
throws
sauce
it
to
out.
it.
But I wonder if she puts it in that much as a way to intimidate Kate by saying, "Ha! Look at how much spicy food I can take. I can take all this sriracha, and it doesn't bother me at all."
I don't think so, because the reason why I'm going to say I don't think that's the case, I think it's because you would only do that if someone, say for instance, is your rival and you're trying to one up them or whatever. She's not a rival. When they were even interacting, when she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry I almost killed you." She's like, haha, laughing like, "Nah, you didn't almost kill me. I threw you off. I didn't want to kill you," which I could tell straight away. She did not want to kill her. She was just basically just wanted her out the way, which is why when she kicked her off the side of the building, she did add the hook to it so that she didn't actually fall and messed herself up. And it would be impossible, despite how much of a prodigy they're trying to make Kate to be, for her to actually go toe-to-toe seriously with a Black Widow who's been trained from a young age.
Yeah, that's my point. I think Yelena at this point just rubbing it in, like, see, look how much better I am than you. I can take all this sriracha, and there's not a thing you can do about it because I'm so much tougher than you.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It's an intimidation tactic, just to say, look, I can do this just to show you that I can do what you do and more if I really want to, but I don't because you're not.
And my brother says as well, I think Haley Steinfeld, I know you're not a big fan, but I think she's knocking it out of the park. I just love the fear in her face. Haley, or Kate Bishop knows in this scene, there's not a damn thing she can do about Yelena. She's just got to sit there and shut up and take that interrogation.
I know you like the character, Manny, but aren't you slightly a bit worried about her behavior as a woman after you saw how she behaved? Now look at it.
I'm a man. I am not going to tell women how they should behave or shouldn't behave.
Well, when a man, think about it, in this day and age now where you've got this Me Too movement, if a woman says no.
Okay, be careful what you say next.
Yeah, I know what I'm going at. We're safe. If a woman say no, no means no. Hawkeye said to her, Clint said to her, "Listen, stay out of this. We're done. Leave, I'm going my separate ways." Did you see that she filled his mailbox the way she was calling him? First, it started off like, she was
a bit obsessive, like.
A bit obsessive. Did you hear her? "You can't do this to us." Literally, she sounded like, she was literally ready to break into his house and start making breakfast.
But do you know what this is, David? This is a point you made earlier. She's a single child, only child, sorry, in a rich family. No one's ever said no to. No one's ever said no to her.
So she's got that entitlement, this, like privilege entitlement, like, if I say we're best friends, then we are best friends. We are best friends.
She has that rich girl entitlement, and I love that because she's not this perfect character. She is flawed.
You love that. She's
becoming one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I absolutely love her. I think she's been written really well because she's likable, yet we still see that she does have these little rich girl flaws as well.
So Manny, I sympathize with flawed characters or bad guys, as you might say, which is say I need help. And you're here now basically saying that.
See, there's a difference in the flaws, you see, because you talk about...
This woman was being a stalker to the point that the little voice on the phone had to come and say, "This mailbox is full. You can leave no more messages." Even the little voice was tired of her.
So this is the point. Clint is
that's not a father figure. That's obsession right there.
Hey, don't you talk to my brother like that.
You're gonna blow up my voice with my mailbox as well, like Kate.
Yes, like coming after my family like that.
Oh, she's crazy. She's got she's got a little craziness in her there.
But I think my brother makes a really good point as well, like why she's doing it, because Clint has become that replacement father figure in her life now. So
yeah, but then Manny, it goes back to, sorry to cut you, but it goes back to what? Remember, What's her name? Yelena asked her, so how long have you known him? Oh, a week. See, even she could tell. A week and you're behaving like that. 1 week and you become in 1 week
and it
you
sounds
become a father figure.
And it sounds ridiculous, but then she's been worshipping Clint for the longest.
Obsessed.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Like there is an obsessive factor about this relationship, which is why I hope Clint doesn't die, because it's just going to break poor.
No, that's not what you should be worried about. What you should be worried about is just hope that Clint never takes on another apprentice, because should he do that, she's gonna go ham and just kill everyone. You know, it's gonna be like, you're trying to replace me, you're trying to come between us. She's gonna kill everyone. She crazy.
Maybe. Well, when they start the Young Avengers initiative, I think Kate's gonna have to get used to sharing. Dowdy, in the comments, am I right in saying that? Oh, it's actually in the graphic novel as well. I'm pretty sure Kate ends up dating Elijah Bradley in the comics. And I think as well, the fact that she's a bit of a rich girl does cause tension between the two of them, from what I recall. Yeah, I haven't read a lot of Young Avengers.
Maybe because probably every anniversary, she's going to have him dress up as Hawkeye. I think that would actually put a strain on the relationship.
Yeah, and that's another good point by Dowdy, actually. How long has Yelena known Clint? So Clint was aware of Yelena, though didn't recognize her, but at some point it feels as though Natasha has told Clint about Yelena. Is a direct Davie P, what happened to your fight bout? Did your milking the cow technique work?
It was not milking the cow. Listen, those hands were lethal, just because Manny P doctored the video to try and make it look worse than it was. But
listen, I didn't edit it. I didn't edit the video.
But to your question, I didn't lose, but I didn't win.
It never happens, basically.
And it wasn't a draw. So I lost. Yeah.
So Dowdy's just confirming for me that Kate does end up dating Elijah. Not Elijah Bradley.
Yeah, Mr. Cato. Mr. Cato, be the voice of reason.
Forget from the
comics. Forget from the comics or anything. Just based on I'll
explain later. Watch the last video. He does this weird milk. He tries to show us his punching technique, and it looks like he's either milking a cow or having fun with two guys. It's
you can't say that. You get cancelled.
I just said it. Okay.
When he says fun, he means like throwing them something.
It looks like he was skiing. Okay, that's the only thing I'm going to say.
There you go. I was skiing, but which is winter, so it's the perfect time for it.
If not a cow, exactly. There's some. Listen, you
But Mr.
you demonstrate,
Cato,
you exhibit some
we're
worrying behavior.
Topic right now, y'all gonna see these hands again. But Mr. Cato, forget the comics.
The cow's gonna see the hands again.
There's a few people that's gonna see these hands. Based on what you just saw, if you didn't read the comics on Kate's behavior, ain't that obsession right there? That's not just like, a cute father-daughter moment. She's literally acting like that's how she is if she was to date someone. If that guy says it's over, it's not over until she says it's over.
Well, let's just pray for Elijah. Let's pray for Elijah when they start dating later on, that Elijah's okay. You have to show Santa. Are you saying you're not afraid of those hands, Dowdy, or you don't want to be milked by him? Either way, I get it. In the comments, though, do you like Kate or do you not like Kate? Because I'm really liking this character.
No, it's not even about disliking her. It's just about certain behavior. You see that kind of behavior. I mean, we all identify Walker's behavior to say, he was suffering from PTSD. We have to identify that she actually has a little, forget the privilege, she actually has a little psycho in her, a little obsessive
behavior. She's single in this show. Maybe that's for a reason.
Yeah. And I don't just think, I know they'll probably play it down, obviously, for the for TV and everything. But I think in reality, someone like that who's as obsessed with him wouldn't be looking at him as no father figure, because considering that she's a grown woman.
It's fair to say Clint was an inspiration. Now, David, I want you to just suspend your disbelief for a moment and just come with me on a journey. And it's not a journey to milk cows.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready for that journey. My hands are in my pocket.
Now, imagine you were in Spanish Town in okay, before we start, Mr. Cato says, I like Kate. I would not say she's crazy, just a very big fan of Clint. So this is what
I can't take no for an answer.
Yeah. So David, I would imagine yourself being 10 years old before you moved to the UK, sitting in Spanish Town, doing whatever you were doing.
I was in Linstead. I was a country boy in Linstead.
Doing whatever a country boy does, which probably involved milking cows. Come to think of it, milking some guy named Winston's cow, and imagine suddenly the Sentinels. Yeah, these Sentinels actually start wreaking havoc across Spanish Town. Yeah. And you're about to be killed by a Sentinel because it mistakes you for a mutant. No, because you are a mutant. You just haven't developed your genes yet. And suddenly you see a powered up Ace of Spades flying towards the Sentinel.
Yes, you know where to go with that one. Awesome, yes.
Yeah. And then you see this figure of Gambit with his trench coat and his weird kind of headband thing, his bow staff, and his sexy Cajun accent. Say, so I'm not going to do a Cajun accent. He says, it's okay, dude. I got you. And then you meet him 8 years later when you're 18. Aren't you just going to be a bit obsessed with him?
Yeah, in the sense that I'll be like, oh my God, that is awesome. To the point.
And you've developed your own powers at this point.
Yeah, but being a fan, what I would then do, since I was that, that person's like a role model, like, that I looked up to, like, a hero to me. Hey, I'm gonna move to New Orleans, or in my mind back then I thought it was French, so I would have gone to France to learn French so I could get the French accent and talk like that type of thing or whatever, and dress that way or whatever. But it's even worse being a fan, and it's the next thing when you're actually obsessed. Obsession leads to danger. You look at it, I'm pretty sure, like, going to, for instance, we talk about music, like John Lennon was killed by a fan.
Okay, I don't think that's going to happen in this circumstance. I know you're using an extreme example to make a point, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's just to say, what I'm saying, my point is just the fact to say that though someone can be a fan, you've got different levels of fan behavior. You've got somewhere it's acceptable. Yes, great, they adore you, but they keep it tempered and level-headed and rational. She's actually not, and it seems cute, but I guarantee if the role had turned around and it was a guy behaving that way, people would think, "Oh my God, he's dangerous."
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. But
that's actually happened. Funnily enough, as we said that. I mean, not sure how many of you used to watch
talk about your private life, are you? You're going to talk about your private life, are you?
No. I'm good. But in Justice League, the animated series,
do we have to talk about these?
After the big battle with Hawkgirl's people, and they started seeing that this one particular guy kept showing up everywhere where Hawkgirl was. Any incident that happened, he was there in the background, and he was a big fan of hers or whatever. They didn't look at it like, oh my God, that's cute. They looked at it like, oh, this guy's crazy. We need to go and have words with him. So you see how when the gender is changed, the narrative of certain behavior gets interpreted differently. If this was a man behaving how she was behaving, leaving 50 million voicemail, they wouldn't think, he's just a big fan and, he looks up to her. They'd think, no, this guy's crazy. She behaving crazy. She's not behaving like a normal fan.
Okay, remember that is just his viewpoint, not mine. I just want to throw something else out there. Then I want to move on from this subject because it's beginning to scare me a bit. I think as well, I think Kate feels as though she owes Clint. I think she feels as though I've gotten Clint into a lot of trouble here by wearing that Ronin outfit, and she feels as though she's got to pay for that and help him in the situation so he can get back to his family for Christmas Day. I think there's an element of that to it as well. But I do take your point on board as well.
No, I get your point on that. But at the same time, again, I don't know if it's a privilege thing that makes it so. Where does she think that she can actually make a difference in the level of danger what they're going through? She's been in this situation for a week. It's not like she's been a vigilante for a little while where she's got all these kind of combat experience and knows what to do what. Remember, the buffoons from the tracksuit mafia was able to actually track her to her home, and they weren't exactly like, hierarchy level, bad guys. These were just foot soldiers.
They listen to Run DMC's Christmas album in their car. Won't have any bad words said about the tracksuit mafia anymore.
Well, I like them anyway. I'm a fan of them or whatever. But I'm just saying. So for her to actually believe that she can actually help, not just Hawkeye, who's like a seasoned hero. This guy's also an agent. He's literally like James Bond 5.0.
That is fair.
Yeah, kind of not really.
Just not a fan of Kate.
Yeah,
just not a
he's
fan.
like James Bond 5.0. So he would not need her help. So if he says to you, stay out of this, I've got this under control. Don't care how much guilt you feel. You don't feel that you should not go in there because, in fact, you'd put him in more danger. Because if you get caught, they could use you as leverage for him to do certain things. So sometimes you have to just know, okay, yeah, I want to help, but maybe the best way I can help is by not me sticking my nose into certain things. But again, like you said, she does have this kind of privileged behavior where she feels like she can just do whatever, not listen to anyone.
Yep. Point well made, sir. Point well made.
I'm on my game tonight.
Okay. So yeah, I think I just want to go back to the conversation between Yelena and Kate, because I do think there were lots of cool things to pick out of there. I like the fact that Yelena kept on saying Kate Bishop over and over again, just to let her know, I know a lot about you. I just love that feeling of impending doom that, Yelena was very much in control of that entire situation. Didn't rush the facts that she was going to ask a key question, where's Clint? Took her time with it, just to show how in control she was. But what it also showed me was I want a lot more dialogue between these two characters. I think they're great together.
Yeah, they were. The dynamic there was really good. But I think also, even when she was saying her full name, I think also that's a cultural thing as well. Because if you notice, there are some people from certain background, when they do come, especially when they translate over in English, they'll say the person's full name. So it's not necessarily an intimidation thing, it's like, yes, hello, Davie, and so-and-so, hello, Manny, so-and-so. It's not necessarily because they're just trying to intimidate, but I think it's a language thing. They just randomly feel like they have to say that.
Maybe, but yeah. So we'll be making mac and cheese later, mixed with loads of sriracha. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, we pretty much almost covered everything, I think, in this episode. Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. The next thing what you said about her, when they're actually having the dialogue, I think, like you said, the chemistry was good, but I think also she was, even though it was small talk, I think like we were saying, she was actually just establishing dominance, that she's completely in control of the whole situation. The fact that not only did she come to her apartment, but she actually told her, yeah, I know about you. Oh, and also, yeah, you don't know about Clint. Oh, yeah, and I'm going to kill him. So literally, she told
exactly
her
what
that.
she was doing. She told
her exactly what she was doing
food
because she's no threat.
In her flat. She cooked her own food in her flat. That's displaying dominance if ever you want to display. If ever you want to display dominance.
And shame you for not having enough cutlery in your apartment as well. Like you only got one fork. Like shame on you type of thing.
In a weird way, they kind of need each other. Kate needs to learn from Yelena, about what it's like to come back from living a hard life and not having everything you want, and how hard it is to bounce back from that. And I think those are lessons Kate can learn from Elena. I think there's stuff Elena can learn from Kate, the more kind of, I don't want to say superficial, but I can't think of a better term. But someone like Kate, who has access to a bit of privilege, someone just to help Elena just have fun she's never had the chance to just be a girl or woman in her life. And I think having that kind of friendship with Kate moving forward, if they do develop having into a friendship, which I think they will, that's what she needs from her. She needs someone who's going to help her cut loose a bit on the dance floor, maybe actually buy her decent clothes and show her how to dress herself, because Elena can't do that yet.
Well, we don't know that though, Manny, because think about it.
Look at the last scene of Black Widow 2. They're doing this on purpose. She's wearing this hodgepodge of like different types of clothes, and they're basically telling a story that Elena's always wanted this freedom of, like being fashionable and dressing herself, but she's almost overdoing it because she's never really had that time to try out different styles, have those girlfriends around her which advise her on, what the kind of best styles are for her.
I agree with, but I think she does know how to dress in terms of if it's a mission.
Yeah, I think obviously, I mean, that goes without saying.
The Black Widows have been known to, if they're going to go, if they need to infiltrate, like party, they know how to wear sexy, they know how to do all of that. But I think in a normal environment where it's not work related, it's not a mission.
That's my point, David.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
You don't get me wrong. If there's like a tactical mission, we'd have to infiltrate a submarine. I don't think that's even, it's not even worth me making that point, because that should be pretty obvious. Additionally, as well, and again, if Clint dies,
that's exactly what I was going to say, Mr. Cato. I think she can actually train her, because as far as we know, she probably still is out there trying to like free all those other Black Widows from the mind control. So maybe they could actually do a spin-off where she takes her to actually, so she gets some combat experience, because to show her how you can actually fight with restraint, where even though it looks as though you're going all out, you're not, because in all those rescue missions, she's actually they're being attacked, but she's not trying to hurt her friends. She's just trying to free them. So she's basically just defending, but not defending where it's enough where she's going to hurt them when she counters, just enough to restrain them to actually get the mission done. So I think that could actually be a good little spin-off if they could actually let them have that kind of adventure.
It's all about the dynamic of where this comes. Last episode on Wednesday, what's going to happen? What kind of relationship are all these characters going to be left with by the end of the episode?
I think it's going to lead to spin-offs for other characters, not necessarily for...
Well, we know what Disney have announced. I think Echo is going to be a good one. I think Armor Wars, I think we could see them pop up in Armor Wars. Definitely.
Yeah, but don't you think there might be more, but they just haven't released them yet?
No, God, if there is more, dear Lord, their budget must be huge. I mean, they announced something like
when you
15 shows.
When you see Spider-Man, then I think you might change your mind about that.
No, I said no spoilers.
There's no spoiler.
That was a spoiler.
That's not a spoiler. I'm just saying about possibly
because you're saying there's going to be lots of characters in this movie.
Yeah, but I never told you the fact about Black Adam making an appearance in there. Oh damn! I just did.
Yeah, I think you might have seen a different movie to everybody else.
I'm
not an idiot.
Well, technically, don't you see that? Apparently, he's there trying to. I don't know. I think he needs to catch up on stuff. He's there trying to push for a possible Black Adam versus Avengers. They're two different.
Yeah, it's everybody. As much as everybody loves The Rock, every once in a while, I do think, dude, just hold it down.
No, I love Rock as a wrestler. His acting is, oh my god.
Before we go, in your opinion, who's the best wrestler who transitioned into acting?
Best wrestler who transitioned into acting. You know what? It's tricky because John Cena in The Marine was possibly the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It was so bad that when I bought it from HMV when HMV was around. And when I bought it, I actually came home, I watched it, and I took it back the same day, got my money back.
I would ask why you would want to watch it in the first place. But
I don't know, man. I was trying to support the thing. I was trying to support our cause. I thought, oh, it might be cool. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. But then again, saying that, watching him in, there's a movie that he done.
So is it John Cena? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Yeah, well, he doesn't. I'm saying that it depends on the role because
Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper, Roddy Piper was great. He done a really good movie with Danny Glover, where he's like a retired, could have been a good wrestler, but he didn't. High school wrestler, and he's got a younger brother, and he trained him. And it's a serious movie. It's really, really good, and he was actually amazing in that. But I don't know. Apart from Roddy Piper, no, The Rock is just good when he has minimal lines. When he has minimal lines and minimal screen time and he just comes and does something and off, then it's great. But when you just give him just like a whole thing, it's just it's too much. And I don't know if people are being paid to go out and watch it, but some of these movies that I've seen have been like number one at the box office. I'm thinking, like, did you watch the same thing what I tried to watch and couldn't finish it? It's just absolutely mind blowing. But
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. So who do you think? Who's yours?
I can't think of one. I really can't. I'm just gonna say Batista. Okay. I'm just gonna say Batista for the sake of it. Roddy Piper, Hell Comes to Frogtown. I've never seen that movie actually, but it sounds amazing.
Immortal Kombat. He done a movie called Immortal Kombat as well in the 80s.
Oh, did he?
Really good.
Yeah, the guy's a legend. The guy was a legend. So we've got episode 5. We've got episode 6 coming up. What do you expect from episode 6, sir? And I think this will be the Die Hard episode.
I think we'll actually get to see some dialogues between Kingpin, the big man, and
the big guy.
Someone. Yeah, the big guy and someone will actually speak. So you'll actually see him on screen. But I think it will most likely be teasers. They won't have him on screen too long, just enough to whet the appetite so you can look forward to see what he's gonna pop up in next or whatever, that kind of thing. So I think that I think maybe Kate will probably have a little suspicion about her mom.
Well, I think it's more than a suspicion now. I think she full well knows what her mum's up to.
But I don't think she realized that because she thought it was Jacques. It's not until when she got that message.
She knows now. She's seen her mum with the Kingpin. She knows full well now that her mum's.
But she don't know who the Kingpin is.
Clint's going to explain to her who the Kingpin is. Don't you worry about that.
And then it's going to come to a case of, will she believe her fan, her crush, her idol, her...
It's not a crush, David. It's not a crush. Let's not get this twisted. You've got such a...
Manny, you're talking like she's an innocent 8-year-old girl. She's a grown...
It's not a crush. It's not a crush.
A 22-year-old woman that's obsessed with the man.
It's not a crush. You've got such a one-track mind.
How's that a one-track mind? How old is she, Manny?
You always... She's 22, but that doesn't... She's 22, but that doesn't mean anything. Does Kate Bishop have a sexual attraction to Clint Barton in the comments, please? Yeah, I think this is going to be the last. Hopefully, this is how it ends. Clint goes to the Barton household and has turkey.
Yeah, well, Clint is Barton. You mean Kate?
Yeah, so Kate goes to. Well, I hope Clint goes there as well. No, honestly,
Literally, like, yes. Next episode, Clint goes to the Bartons. That's his home, actually. Yes, he lives there.
you know, Kate goes to the Barton household, has Christmas dinner with them. She almost takes that place at the table, which maybe their auntie Natasha used to sit at. I have this beautiful image that Natasha used to sit there at Christmas dinner with the Barton family, and
Yeah,
and
they're similar age. You got some 22-year-old psycho obsessor that's just gonna come get welcome into the family. Like, yes, you're Natasha 2.0. Nah, that's creepy.
Thank you. Just agreeing that isn't the kind of obsession which Kate has for Clint. You sick individual.
When he wakes up and he see her watching him like Watu, then hope y'all will turn around and say, "Yep, Davie, you was right."
Have you got your pajamas on? Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Next episode, I just hope Clint doesn't die. I've just got this bad feeling Clint's going to die and he's not going to make it home to see his family for Christmas. I think we're going to see a bit of Kingpin. I don't think we're going to see a lot of him. I think maybe one scene we'll see of him.
Yeah, but Manny, since you're saying that, what would they have to gain from killing him off?
Nothing. Clint.
Yeah, so then it's pointless to kill him off because there's no scenario here where you think
to kill us, the fans, to break our hearts on Christmas.
But then all that would do, it would probably make you have more people like me who would just be quite disgusted if that's the case. In the sense, if they're going to say they're going to kill him off and then she becomes the new Hawkeye girl.
She is the new Hawkeye. That's my point. This is why they might kill him. That's why they might kill him off, to say, like, forget about Clint and Natasha. Now it's all about Yelena and Kate. This is my fear.
Yeah, and I'm saying if they do that, they'll have backlash because it's just going to be I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one out there who just finds it too cringy how you're trying to force feed something so...
I think you're in the minority, though. From what I've seen online, I think you're in the minority.
Well, let them kill him off and then you'll see if I'm the minority.
We'll see. I don't want Clint to die, but I just have this bad feeling. Because I don't see... Unless they pursue the Laura Barton storyline, what are you doing?
I'm just saying, I'm looking at myself on the camera. My belly don't look fat here. I told you it's how I was sitting.
Okay. Yeah.
You make me so conscious, Manny P. See, when I'm sitting like this, it looks... But when I turn to the side...
Okay, Chubby. Yeah, I just don't know what I do with Clint after this. That's my fear.
Go home. That's what he wants to do.
I want as well. I want him to go home and have a nice, lovely life with his family. But I'm just worried the writers are going to do something really mean to us.
Yeah, he's got money. He's done his mission. You know, the Avengers is no more. The big bad is no more. Anything that's coming now, you leave it to new heroes, which they obviously got plenty lying in wait or whatever. So,
listen, I hope
to go home and retire.
I hope this happens.
I doubt they would kill him off. They're not going to kill off both him and Natasha.
We'll see. I hope not. But I just have this underlying fear that could happen. We might see the LARPers turn up to back up Kate and Hawkeye in the final battle. That'd be quite funny.
Well, let's see what happens.
But I think the end of this episode, we're going to find out, hopefully, what the watch is all about. And I think we're going to move into basically a story that moves us into the Echo series, a story that moves us into Armor Wars, maybe even a story that moves us a bit into Moon Knight as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the last episode. Seen Spider-Man on Sunday, can't wait.
Well, yeah, that's a good question now, Manny. What's the next series on Disney?
That's actually a really good question. I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I think it's She-Hulk, but I'm not 100% sure.
Which one? Oh, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Be interesting. Yeah, we need to check that. Well, hopefully they probably will make some announcements once this one is finished to say what's next. Because I mean, how long did we have between Loki finishing and this started?
It wasn't long. It was about 4 weeks or something.
So
I'll be,
hopefully we'll get something in January, maybe end of January, February.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to bid everyone farewell. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yes, that's it. Till next week when we do. Now you're saying it's Christmas Eve. We're doing
Spider-Man Christmas Eve.
Why not Christmas Day? Let the people have something to enjoy Christmas.
No, I don't want to. I'll be sleeping Christmas Day. I don't want to.
We have 24 hours in the day.
Listen, if you want to do, I'm okay. I mean, if you want to do the evening,
yeah, we can do it Christmas evening. You know, everyone's there. Mary, they're gonna need the Vaya man. You know, a Vaya Christmas.
Okay, we'll do a Christmas Day stream. My God, what's my life become?
That's it. You're a public figure now, Duke. You know, we have to give the folks what they want.
My God, I hate my life. Right. Say goodbye to everybody.
Well, folks, we'll see y'all on Christmas. So until then, have a nice Christmas.
Actually, no, we're doing Christmas Eve.
There you go. The boss has spoken. So Christmas Eve it is. I've got no say, you know, but hey, I got one up on him because I got to see Spider-Man before him.